You ever give someone your whole heart, only to watch strangers walk in and treat it like a hotel lobby? My name is Margaret Delaney, but everyone calls me Maggie. I'm 61 years old. I spent 32 years teaching American literature to high schoolers in Asheville, North Carolina. I taught kids about Gatsby's Green Light, Scout's Courage, and Thoreau's Quiet Rebellion. But nothing in all those novels prepared me for what happened after I gave my only daughter the greatest gift I could imagine. Her name is Chloe. My sunshine. My miracle. I raised her alone after my husband, Robert, passed away from a sudden heart attack when she was just 10. Every overtime shift I worked, every coupon I clipped, every birthday I skipped celebrating for myself, I did it for her. Because I wanted her to have a life softer than mine. Safer. Sweeter. So when she told me she was getting married to Tyler Brooks, a polite, soft-spoken engineer with kind eyes and steady hands, I didn't just cry happy tears. I made a promise to myself. I would give her a home. Not a check. Not a necklace. A home. A place where her dreams could take root. After months of searching, I found it. Tucked along the quiet shores of Lake Lure. Yes, that Lake Lure. The one from Dirty Dancing, stood a little white cottage with sky-blue shutters, a wraparound porch strung with fairy lights, and a backyard that bloomed with wild azaleas every spring. It smelled like pine needles and fresh rain. When I handed Chloe the keys at her bridal shower, she collapsed into my arms sobbing. "Mom," she whispered, "this is everything I ever dreamed of." I believed her. I pictured lazy Sunday mornings with pancakes and jazz, Christmas mornings with stockings hung by the stone fireplace, maybe someday the pitter-patter of tiny feet on those hardwood floors. The wedding was perfect. White lace, string quartet, golden hour light. Tyler looked at her like she was the only woman in the world. But 1 week later, everything changed. I drove over with a basket of fresh peaches, homemade biscuits, and lavender soap, just little things to help them settle in. As I stepped onto the porch, the front door was wide open. Not just open, swinging. And inside? Chaos. Voices. Laughter that sounded forced. A woman shouting, "Where do you keep the good towels?" Another yelling, "Tyler, your dad's suitcase is leaking again." I froze. Grocery bag in hand. Heart in throat. Then I heard it, Tyler's cheerful voice. "Mom, Dad, this is your room. You'll love the lake view." My stomach dropped like a stone. That's when I realized the home I bought for my daughter wasn't hers anymore. At first, I told myself, maybe they're just helping them move in. Newlyweds need support. But by day 3, Tyler's parents, Harold and Beverly, were unpacking permanent luggage. His sisters, Jenna and Marissa, had claimed the guest room as their content studio, complete with ring lights and racks of clothes. And then there was Leo, their obnoxious green parrot, who screeched mine, mine, every time someone opened the fridge. The house no longer smelled like cedar and lemon. It reeked of burnt toast, cheap perfume, and entitlement. I visited again that Friday. Harold was parked in the best recliner, like a king on his throne. Beverly had rearranged my daughter's kitchen, and was barking orders like she ran the place. "Chloe, honey, you really should use more garlic. Tyler's used to flavor." And Chloe? My bright, brilliant Chloe? She was scrubbing a pot with tired eyes, forcing a smile, so thin it might shatter. "Mom, we didn't expect you," she said, hugging me with stiff shoulders. "It's quite the housewarming," I said, trying to keep my voice light. Tyler strolled in, grinning. "Oh, yeah, my folks are staying until their condo in Charlotte closes. You know how it is." I didn't know how it was, but I nodded, smiled, left. But every time I called after that, Chloe's voice grew quieter, flatter. "Everything's fine, Mom. They'll leave soon." But her eyes, when I saw her, told a different story. They were hollow, defeated. One rainy Thursday, I showed up unannounced. And there she was on her knees, scrubbing the kitchen tiles while Beverly pointed at missed spots like a drill sergeant. Tyler sat on the couch, scrolling through his phone. "You're doing great, babe," he said without looking up. Something inside me broke, and then rebuilt. I asked Chloe to step outside. On the porch, rain tapping the wood, she finally crumpled. I just want everyone to be happy, she whispered, tears mixing with rain. Everyone but yourself, I said softly. That night, I couldn't sleep. I sat at my kitchen table, staring at the deed to that lakeside cottage, still in my name. I'd never transferred it. I'd been so focused on giving, I forgot to protect. The next morning, I called my oldest friend, Diane Carter, a sharp-as-nails real estate attorney who's seen every kind of family drama. Whose name is on the deed? She asked. Mine. She didn't miss a beat. Then, Maggie, it's time they remember whose house they're living in. 2 days later, Diane handed me a formal 30-day notice to vacate. Legal. Unassailable. Final. I practiced in the mirror. Navy dress. Silver hoops Robert gave me on our 20th anniversary. Calm voice. Steady hands. Sunday morning. Gray sky. Heavy air. I walked into that house like I owned it because I did. Family meeting, I announced. Silence fell like a curtain. I stood in the center of the living room, once Chloe's sanctuary, now their circus, and said clearly, I bought this house for my daughter. The deed is still in my name. I've decided to sell it. You have 30 days to pack and leave. Harold sputtered. Beverly gasped. Tyler turned red. You can't do this. This is our home. No, Tyler, I said, meeting his eyes without flinching. It's mine, and I'm doing this for Chloe. And then, my daughter did something I hadn't seen in months. She stood up, straightened her spine, looked at him and said, She's right. It's her house. The next 30 days were quiet. Boxes appeared. The parrot stopped screaming mine. The recliner sat empty. And Chloe? She started breathing again. We sold the house. Used the money to find her a little cottage nestled in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Just her books, and her peace. Tyler showed up one evening with flowers and apologies. Chloe listened. Then she said, You didn't just lose a house, Tyler. You lost the right to treat me like I don't belong in my own life. She closed the door, locked it, never looked back. Now, she paints again, joins book clubs, takes morning walks with her dog. And every Sunday, she makes pancakes just for herself. I used to think love meant giving everything away. But real love has boundaries. Real love says, I gave you a home, but I won't let you turn it into a prison. If you've ever watched someone you love disappear in front of your eyes, if you've stayed silent too long out of fear or politeness, this story is for you. Because sometimes the most loving thing you can do is take back what's yours. If this story moved you, if it reminded you of your own mother, your own daughter, your own breaking point, please do 3 things for me. Like this video, it tells YouTube this matters. Subscribe because stories like this need to be heard. Comment below, I've been there, or I'm protecting someone right now. Your words might be the lifeline someone else needs today.